Sound like Mrs. Doubtfire. Welcome to Passive Income Active Wealth Show. I am Bill Fairman. This is Wendy Sweet. That's Jonathan Davis laughing at me in the corner. He always loves it because I can string these things together. I'm a wordsmith.
Yes, you are.
You are seamless with how you string things along.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
So we are Carolina Capital Management. We lend money. So go to our website, carolinahardmoney.com. If you're a borrower, click on the borrower tab. If you're an investor looking for passive returns, then click on the investor tab. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like our show. And if you have any questions or comments for us, you can have access to that chat box to the right or to the bottom of the screen, depending on the platform you're on. So we normally have a guest at this time, but we have stuff too.
That's right. Well, we had a cancellation, which is cool. We're all good with that.
Yeah.
But we think on our feet, so we can always add something else in. And
the best thing we could think of was all the mistakes that we made.
Yeah.
And all the cool stuff that we found.
Wonky deals, because we got lots of them, right? Yeah. They're all kind of a little wonky.
And, not all of them are mistakes that's turned into down stuff. I mean, we have stuff that turns into lemonade from lemons.
Well, I'd say quite a bit of it does.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of it does.
You do hard money long enough, everything has hair on it. I mean,
that's the truth.
I tell you one story that reminds me is one that Larry Goins did.
Which one would that be?
He did one where he bought this single-wide mobile home on land somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And he realized, I got this single-wide mobile home on land in the middle of nowhere. The hell am I going to do with it? And then the person that was living in it set it on fire.
He had insurance, right?
And burned it to the ground. Well, the insurance came in and paid him a big chunk of change, and then he sold the land for even more.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
That actually happened to him twice.
Paid off his deal, and no, he's not hiring people to do that.
Yeah, because it didn't happen twice.
It just happens.
Yeah, one of them, I was working with Larry at the time, and there was a mobile home there. We had it for maybe 45 days, finally had it sold. It was to close. This was on a Monday, it was supposed to close. On a Friday or over the weekend. No, when was the election? So it had to be a Tuesday. So it was supposed to close that Wednesday. So on a Tuesday, this is when Obama was elected.
Okay.
The second time Obama was elected into office, that some kids in the neighborhood were excited about it and started throwing fire, the bottles with fire in them.
Oh, the bottle rockets?
Molotov
cocktails?
That's it. They were throwing those. Yeah.
This wasn't in the 70s?
No. So anyway, it hit there and it burned the trailer, burned it to where, we lost the buyer on it, but he ended up earning enough to cover the deal to begin with. So now we're in it totally empty. I have another story to that. He walked through it himself to look at it. It was down at Myrtle Beach. And he and his wife walked through it, and he's going, there was somebody that was a squatter in there with like half of it burned down and no roof and stuff. And the guy they had already kicked him out, gotten the guy out, but he left all his clothes. The guy had a really nice Hawaiian shirt. Larry likes Hawaiian shirts. Oh, he got the shirt, took it home and washed it and started wearing the shirt. He'll tell you that story himself. It's pretty funny. But, he ended up being able to sell it in that state, burned up to somebody else. So he made pretty good money off of it. Wow. And it was a total mistake on that. We did have a house in Gastonia that we didn't remodel, but our borrower did. And the contractor, I think I might even told you guys this story. The contractor was testing the burners and accidentally did not turn the burner off all the way. Everything was complete. He didn't turn the burner off all the way. There was paper near it, and that house burned to the ground. And after it was completely rehabbed, and the lot that it was sitting on was 2 feet too short on the street
For the variance.
access for the variance, and the house could not be rebuilt. So the lender on that ended up with an $80,000 piece of dirt there was nothing that could be done about it. Now there was insurance on it, so that paid off, but that was kind of stinky.
But the insurance only pays for the sticks.
That's exactly right.
Doesn't pay for the value of the land.
That's
that was
exactly
part of the
right.
appraisal.
So they he didn't get his
Did
full.
the borrower make enough to pay the loan off?
The borrower didn't make anything.
Or I guess did the borrower get
But
enough from the insurance company
yeah.
to pay the?
Yeah, well, the lender is the one who actually got the payoff.
Gotcha. Yeah,
because the lender is shown
has the title
had
policy,
the lien
yeah.
on it, so
Mhm.
it went straight to the lender on that, which was good. So he ended up becoming whole on it, but the rehab guy who
Wow.
owned the property walked away with zero. In fact, negative zeros.
This is why we say that the rehabber is always taking the risk on these things.
That's right.
And he should have known that this thing couldn't be rebuilt.
Mm-hmm.
This happens a lot when you have a single family home that has been changed over into a commercial office, and then someone tries to turn it back into a house.
Right.
Once they've changed it, and you have to, again, it depends on the municipality, but if you've changed it to a commercial property
Mhm.
and it burns down, you can't build it back to a
Right,
house. So
right.
if it was a commercial property and then you converted it back to a house and someone's living in it and the house burns down, the only thing you can make it is a commercial property again.
That's right.
So
Oh
you
my
got to
gosh.
watch out for that.
You
Yeah.
gotta know the zoning, and it's different in every county.
Yeah, you just have to be vigilant and make sure that you look up and what's allowed within the zoning. And unfortunately, you have to look at all the addendums and everything else. Now, you can certainly hire someone to do that,
Yeah.
but if they miss it, they don't usually have E&O insurance to
To cover all that.
cover any
Yeah.
mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're not writing anything. They're just translating it for you.
Right. That's exactly right. So we actually just kind of made a list of some of the wonky deals that we've been involved in. And Jonathan, you brought one up in Charlotte, a house that we did a loan on, that the property got demolished by the city. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
Booker.
Well, it got demolished by the city after the borrower had put a brand new roof on the building,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't bother to get the foundation inspected, and the foundation was it had to be torn down. It couldn't pass. Engineering report said it couldn't. It probably barely supported the new roof.
Right.
The shingles were too heavy at this point.
Yeah. So this guy's spent like, oh gosh, like $8,000, maybe $8,000 on a brand new roof, and he had to tear it down.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
I did get a really nice clawfoot tub out of that deal.
Did you?
I did.
Nice.
That was inside, so I got that before.
That's
It
interesting
got
that the
completely-
clawfoot tub was still, because I remember that house. There was a roof, there was a foundation, and then it was all open. You could see through the house to the
You
other
could.
side.
It was like
Yeah.
sticks
Yeah.
holding the roof up. But
Yep.
that was after I got that tub out of there.
That was we call those park shelters.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it looked like.
Yeah.
It was a really nice roof on that park shelter.
Yeah. So as a lender, I mean, we had the loan on there. We had to turn around and sell the deal as a lot that didn't have a house on it.
Well, we had to
anymore.
take the deal back. And,
Yeah.
we had to, there was way more to the story. We had, take it back, and
The
like,
borrower had issues.
and borrowers had
anyway.
issues. But that's why we don't want to lend to borrowers who have issues. We want to lend to borrowers who can take care of what they have and know what they have before they get it. Because we don't want property.
That's right. And most of the people that we lend to are good, fine, upstanding citizens that have every intention of
That's most people. Yeah.
paying us back. But every once in a while, and this was one of those people, you'll get somebody whose answer in life is, well, if it doesn't work out, I'll just walk away and do something different. And that's exactly what that attitude was on that one. And
Yeah.
I've taken great lengths to make sure that everybody I know that's about to do business with this person knows who it is. so they don't run into the same thing that we did. And we actually had 2 properties with this person, didn't we?
We took back both. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reputations are an important thing. I mean, that's why Wendy, Bill, and even myself, like Wendy and Bill more so, been working for 20 years to create a great reputation. I know this is our show, so we can feed the propaganda that we want, but it's like I really don't hear too many people say anything bad about us. I mean, I really don't. I mean, I've never. If anything, I hear people recommending us.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. Like reputations are so important.
Yeah, it really
and this
is.
guy just
blew his
reputation, especially in Charlotte. I mean,
it's a tough one. In fact, the second one that we took back, that one had been completely rehabbed. Was finished.
Yeah.
There was a tenant in it.
Yeah, there was a tenant.
Had a tenant in it, and had been finished, and he ended up stopped paying on that too. So we took that back, went through the foreclosure process, and just got it back. Actually,
not sure yet. There was a 5-day.
Yeah, well, it's been through. Yeah,
there's
5-day added upset bid.
Yeah, 5-day because of COVID.
Yeah, but we're past it.
Yeah,
we're past the time frame, so we're good. But anyway, went to look at the house, change the locks on it, and some of the rehab had been stripped. No more appliances. Some of the kitchen cabinets are gone. HVAC's gone, which I absolutely expected.
Again, showing us what kind of person that is.
Yeah. So it's that was kind of a wonky
So if you're
deal.
lending money in the 3-state area, and you want any references, call us before you lend.
Yeah, we know a lot of people.
Also, just to throw it, that's why we do personal guarantees as well, and most people do. You can pursue them via civil route if you don't get your money back.
Yeah, that's for sure.
They're not out of the woods. They just, walk away and strip the building and take all the stuff. They're still not out of the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, you can lock them up. You can file a suit in every county that they operate in.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do to go after somebody like that.
I got a quick story, if that's okay.
Okay. Is it on our list?
Is it quick?
No.
Okay, good.
Is it really quick?
Yeah.
It will be. So I was looking at a refinance. This is before this company, but back in the day, I was going to do a refinance on a brand new modular home, and it was not a mobile home. It was a true modular.
Right.
And I met this modular group. They actually they built one of these homes inside the Metrolina, whatever that park thing. I don't know. They had all the indoor shows.
Yeah, where they do the Southern Living show.
Yeah,
and
right there on 74. So they had like 3 inches space from the top of the house to the top of the building.
Wow.
And they built that house inside the building.
That's pretty cool.
as a show house. Anyway, so they wanted me to refinance one of their properties near Raleigh. It was a Cape Cod. It was a decent sized 2-story house.
Yeah, they like build it and then just like put it together. Because how do you get on top if there's only 3-inch clearance?
Well, in that building they had little crane things that went across the top because they built it in an area where they usually put shows for heavy equipment and stuff. Anyway,
I've piqued my curiosity. Sorry.
So anyhow, that said, they wanted me to take a look at this property. So we did. They had already put the home in place. This was, the permanent financing. We have a survey done. House is sitting 3 feet on somebody else's lot.
Ouch.
And they're living in it, waiting for the refinance.
Oh, no.
So usually probably not a big deal if the neighbor next to you is
We'll let
willing
you
to sell
a
you
strip of land
that
there.
little piece. The problem was the land was owned by the University of North Carolina college system.
Oh, no.
Not any particular university, the entire system.
Oh, no.
And they have a board that meets once a year. and the board met about 3 weeks earlier.
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
So I said, we'll pass. Good luck.
Well, that's a shame.
Now, I said, why did you put that house on there.
What were
Did
you
you
thinking?
not order a survey? And they said, well, the owner said, here's the survey stakes, because it was out there. I said, so
They just went out and put out stakes.
you believed the owner's survey and not your own? This is your fault.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Oh my gosh.
That costs a lot of money to not spend $500 on
Well,
a
I don't know what
survey.
happened in the end. All I know is that it was going to be at least a year before they were going to get it worked out.
Wow. So we were talking about Larry a little bit earlier. I remember he bought a house that had been foreclosed on. And when he went to sell it, the title search showed that he only really bought half a house because they only foreclosed on half the house. The house was sitting on 2 lots. So the foreclosure only happened on half the house.
On one parcel, not on the other
and
parcel.
then, so they had to go through the foreclosure on the other side too. That was really interesting.
Wow.
He also bought a house one time. I thought this was funny, that had like 12 people that had to sign off on it. It was, an estate.
I've done 27.
You do win on that. There's no doubt. I remember he drove all over the place looking for these people, getting them to sign off on their part. And the last one that he had to get signed was living in Georgia. He found out where she lived. She didn't have a phone. So he pulls up into the driveway, and it's a ramshackle place. And this woman's sitting out on her front porch with her hands in her head in her hands like this, just all depressed and sad. And she said her power just got cut off and she was really in need of money. He said, well, our timing is perfect because I have $500 here if you'll sign this piece of paper right here. So he was able to give her money so she could get all her power and everything turned back on, and he got his last signature on that.
Man, that worked out. That was perfect.
He had to go to prison in that to get one of them to sign in prison. That was interesting too.
To visit, not to,
That's right. He didn't go to prison. He found the person in prison. That was pretty interesting.
Well, it's not hard to find them if they're there.
That's right. How'd you get the 27 people tracked down?
Used a wholesaler. So I did not do it. But it took 6 months, maybe longer. I think it was closer to a year.
And who tracked them down? An attorney?
An attorney and the wholesaler were tracking them down. It took, I think it was closer to a year because we were going to close, and then there was only like 17 heirs or something like that, 17 to 20. And then one of them passed away.
That's right. I remember you telling
And they were like, oh, are you kidding me? So now it had to go to all their heirs. And it added like it was like 10 more, close to 10 more.
That's a lot of people.
Frank Cava made a great comment yesterday during some CG training about if you're in that niche where you're going after properties specifically that have clouded title issues.
Right.
Then find a good collections attorney.
Oh.
And a collection attorney has all those people, the investigators, all those people that can track down folks.
That's a good
They're
point.
always trying to track down deadbeats.
Yeah.
So they have all those tools in place. And
All
you're
the
not trying to track
skills.
down a deadbeat. You're trying to give them an opportunity to make a little money by signing off on this thing.
That's right. And clouded title properties don't have a lot of people clamoring for them because they're too hairy.
Right.
And it takes way too long.
And
but those are the deals that you can make the most money on.
I mean,
you
I
can
don't
pay an
mind
attorney a $3,000 flat fee to go find all these people and get them signed.
Yeah.
I don't mind to share the details of it. That one with 27 purchased the property for $100,000, putting probably $50,000 to $60,000 in it. It's going to be worth. I mean, the appraisal came in at 285.
That doesn't suck.
But the reason I got the deal at 100 was because it was
all that trouble.
all that. It took a year to close.
And so you didn't actually take possession until all of that stuff was signed off on.
Correct. Yeah.
But they knew they couldn't do anything else with it. So maybe would you have $500 in the deal?
Zero.
Okay.
I didn't put any money in.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing to keep it under contract that long. And
Well,
get
one
that
way
done.
to do it though is to have pay a little bit of money to become an owner.
Mhm.
Right.
Who do you pay though?
Well, if you have people, you have heirs that are spread out everywhere.
So they
You
just
have
sell their portion.
one person is going to sell their portion, so at least you're on title. And then that
don't know
way
if you can do
can't.
that.
Yeah, you can. Why not?
Uh,
You're just buying their portion.
Well, I guess
Huh.
Now
I'm not
you're
an
part
attorney.
of it. That way you can't lose the deal if it happens
So is
down the road.
it looked at in this rabbit hole here that we don't know the answer to, but is it looked at as, like, let's just say that 10 different people own it? Is it undivided interest that they have the
see,
ability
that's what
to
I'm
assign,
wondering. Yeah.
or do they all have to sign off on each other?
Yeah.
If there are two people that own the property,
Yeah.
then it's 50-50. And if that person dies and they have 10 heirs, those 10 heirs only have the right to half that property.
Right.
Correct.
So you're buying half of it from the one person that's still alive, and now you're trying to get.
But that's
the rest
assuming
of
that they are alive. But this went through probate court. So the person who owned the property died, and it got sent to probate, and then from there it had to have all these heirs sign off. So at that point, probate court is really in control. And I don't know if can you do it like that?
Yeah, just buy a portion of it.
You can.
Okay.
That's interesting.
No, you have to go through probate, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this case, one of them died, but the other one
was
that
alive.
owned it was alive.
Yeah.
And you can do that.
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
How about where houses are moved into while you still have a loan on it? You still have a loan on it, but you're trying to take it back. Now you've got tenants in there. That's happened before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if there's a lease agreement as a lender, you have to deal with the lease agreement.
Yeah.
You have to honor the
Depending
lease.
on what state you're in. North Carolina, yes. South Carolina, no.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Attorneys. You have to have attorneys look at these.
For sure.
But I know during 2008, when all these people that had investment properties were getting foreclosed on, the tenants were paying their rent on time, and then all of a sudden their owners are getting foreclosed on. Because here's the problem with a lot of people. They were buying investment properties not for the cash flow. They were buying assuming they were going to go up in value.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't interested in cash flow. They just wanted somebody to pay the mortgage payment.
Yeah.
And when they couldn't sell the house at the higher value, guess what? Maintenance comes up and taxes,
taxes, for
insurance,
sure.
and anyway. So there was a big deal on making sure that when you foreclosed, you still had to honor the lease that was in place.
Right. Mm-hmm. I remember we did one. It was probably 7 or 8 years ago in Fayetteville, and the person who was the borrower actually moved in, and we knew he was going to, because the last time I went to inspect it for the rehab part that he was doing, he put a steam shower in the house, and I saw him planting tomato plants in the yard. And then I saw some nice fruit trees being planted. And I said, oh, this guy's got his eyes on intentions moving into this house.
And there's nothing wrong with
there is.
Wanting to move into the house. There's nothing wrong with that. But doing it after you get out of the loan.
Of the hard money loan.
Because you signed, not only have you signed the mortgage or the deed of trust, you've signed not one, but probably 2 business purpose affidavits stating that you and none of your family will live in the property. I mean, you shouldn't have a leg to stand on.
Right. But that guy, we ended up having to foreclose on him.
Yeah.
And even it was really good that he had moved into the property, and he was loving the property, and his wife loved the property, and his kids loved the property, because after it foreclosed, his dog liked it. After it foreclosed, we ended up selling him the house for way more than he owed us on it.
So you foreclosed on it.
Worked out good.
You didn't get a foreclosure bid that upset you.
Right.
You got the property back, and then he paid you.
That's right. And then he bought it from us for more than what he owed on it to begin with.
Yeah, but it wasn't because we charged him more. It was because he owed more, because we had all the accrued interest on the attorney's fees, all that stuff. Yeah. We were still charging him interest the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
The foreclosure just gave him time to get pre-approved with his bank.
Well, no, he got some other sucker to lend him money. I think it was a friend of his or a business partner or something. That
Former business partner.
yeah, probably now.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
No doubt about it. But that one worked out. That one worked out really well. How about the deal that we're doing right now? Just weird things that people buy. It's a
Excuse me.
school that they're turning into the multifamily.
Well, it's a school that's already converted into multifamily.
Like what year was the school built? How old do you think it is?
Gosh, 20s.
Does it look like an old school?
Yeah, if you look at the outside of it, it looks like an old brick school.
I think that's cool. I've seen old buildings like that
Yeah.
I thought, man, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, they converted the classrooms into 1 bedroom, 1 bath.
Wow.
Yeah.
And going down the hall, it still looks like.
Yeah, you have to go single file. It's the only way they allow it.
Are there lockers up and down the hallway?
I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
It's put a little coin insert on them. You can make some money, extra storage.
Wow. And so it still looks like that. And the loan we're doing, and I think they're upgrading it, right?
Well, yeah,
adding value.
they're going to add value. It'll be a repositioning loan, but yeah, I mean, it's an odd property. I mean, it cash flows. I mean, it's a great cash flow, but it's like the beautiful thing. It's this big brick school that has 40 some units in it, and then all behind it is just this giant green space that I guess used to be the playground for the school. I mean, and it's just huge. And I mean, if you have a dog or a kid, like.
Plus, it's room for them to build another building if they wanted to. I don't know if it's zoned and able to do that.
Maybe, but yeah, it's just like that's the first one. I've never seen a school converted. I've seen hotels, I've seen motels converted into multifamily. I'd never seen a school.
What a great idea.
Well, you're going to see a lot of conversions because there's going to be a lot of commercial properties that aren't viable any longer for their current use.
Right.
And we still have a big need for affordable housing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be, just like the big box stores, they figured out you can do a lot of good self-storage stuff with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Like a Kmart, that Kmart that closed down.
Still kicking yourself on that one, aren't you?
No,
Excuse me.
I looked at it. I said, that would be a great self-storage because we
And
just sat through a class.
And they just built a golden corral that you can't eat at.
That's right.
Right beside
it. Right beside it.
And you're seeing, I know Monroe has a lot of their services pieces that are inside of former big box stores. Social Security offices.
That's here in Rock Hill.
Unemployment. Well, they got it
They've
in
got
Monroe
it in Rock
too.
Hill. They took the old strip centers. With bigger, they were big stores, but they took the coroner's office is in there. So they've got social services, the coroner's office, a lot of different city services are taking over that.
Does the morgue go with this coroner's office, or is there two separate things?
I don't know, but I would imagine they take dead people in there.
So I have another story from the days when we were in Larry's office. We had a borrower that had several loans with us previously, and he went to the HUD home store and bought this foreclosure in Charlotte. And the first thing when he wanted us to finance it, and the first thing we noticed when we got the appraisal was that it was in a flood zone. And obviously red flag.
Yeah.
We're not going to want to lend on this, and you're not going to want this property either. And he says, why not? I said, because this is Charlotte. Nobody pays flood insurance in Charlotte.
Right.
This is not like we're at the beach.
Right.
Yeah. You're not going to
Basically, you're
Right.
adding an additional tax to the cost of this house.
And it's huge flood insurance.
By having to, they're going to have to require flood insurance. And he went, oh, well, then I need to get an elevation survey to at least see how much the flood insurance is going to be. I said, yeah, you are. So he calls the city of Charlotte to find out if they have one that's already been recorded. Otherwise, he's going to have to pay to have one done. And he didn't get anywhere. They didn't know. But a couple hours later, he gets a phone call from the city of Charlotte.
I remember this one.
And he says, you own this house? And he goes, well, yeah, that's why I'm asking. It's apparently one of the supervisors there. And he said, well, the reason I'm asking is because we've been trying to buy this house from HUD for the last 2 years because this is a flood zone that we're buying all the houses. We're knocking them all down. We're making just a big old green space out of it. because we're tired of paying out for all the flood insurance. So we're clearing all these out. Big park.
What do you,
And he goes, well, how much are you asking, or how much were you willing to pay? Anyway, he ended up selling that house for, I think it was $10,000 more than he paid for it to the city of Charlotte. And since the house was in its last flood, which was not too long ago, they had completely rehabbed the house. Had
Yeah.
all new appliances.
Yeah, it was in incredible shape.
All new HVAC.
Yeah.
I think we bought, because we were
So he stripped
rehabbing
it,
the house.
sold everything that was in it, made money off of all that.
We got a refrigerator and a really
we got
nice
the cabinets out of it
gas
too.
stove, kitchen cabinets, like for $750.
Yeah.
And then he sold the HVAC separately. It was a good deal for
It
us, and he
was.
made 10 grand.
It was.
So even though you think it's a bad thing,
Yeah,
it turned out to be pretty good.
sometimes it can come through. I forgot about that. That was a really neat. That worked out really neat for him. We've had people buy properties before. They're rehabbing the house, and when they go to sell it, they realize that they've got a second parcel that came along with it that they didn't know was there. So they had another. That happened to us a couple times where they realized at the closing when they bought it from us, not from us, but with our loan, that they found out they had an additional parcel on there that they didn't know they'd have. So they'd have a free and clear piece of property.
I have to say this one. I got a call yesterday from the lender I'm doing the refinance on 2 of my properties in Kannapolis. And the 2 properties are 2 separate houses, but they sit on the same parcel. So as insurance goes, I have 2 houses. As appraisals go, I have a duplex.
That's right.
So, I'm telling these guys many times, like, hey, here's the appraisal. It's appraised duplex. It's actually 2 separate houses. Here are the 2 separate insurance policies, this house and this house. They're like, okay, yeah, we got it. We're going to get an appraisal done and we'll take care of it. I get a call yesterday. Hey, the appraiser's out there, and did you know that there's 2 houses? Yeah, I do. He's like, do you own the other one? Yeah, I sure do. It's on the same parcel. What we talked about. It's like, oh my gosh, these people.
What language was I speaking when I said that?
Yeah, my wife overheard. She's like, how much do you love those guys?
It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
We did another loan. I think that was pretty cool. We do churches where people are taking churches and they're turning them into other stuff. So it's a friend of mine, and he's a borrower. He bought a church, and the church had a house that came along with it as the parsonage.
Mm-hmm.
So when he bought it, he redid that parsonage into an Airbnb. And his intention on the church was to eventually put condos in there, but he was going to start out
townhomes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But he was going to start out by turning it into an event center for a while.
Yeah, until he could secure the
coming and till he could get a bigger loan. And then COVID hit.
Yep.
So the event idea kind of blew through the window.
Mm-hmm.
And now I talked to him about it last night. He's actually now putting townhomes inside the church.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, like the city just required him to keep the front facade of the church, but he could change everything else.
Yeah.
It is a historical building.
Yeah. And I think it'll be cool.
Well, it's in a great, like, right across the street, they just built townhomes that I think they were going for like $600,000-$700,000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
He's sitting in a good.
So here's another one that.
Is it a church? Because we're on churches.
All right, go ahead.
Let's finish that. Hold that thought though. Write it down if you remember it. How about this
If I remember it, I've already forgotten.
How about the church the church that's turning into a daycare center?
I love it. It's odd. It's weird. In the times that we are in, I mean, what made this daycare, what made it different is it's also a learning center where they're going to take children and do the daycare, but also help them through their online virtual learning, which is a great help to a lot of parents. I mean, if you're going to pay for daycare, I mean, you might as well get the learning help as well too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we love that. I mean, but just like I'm a fan of subsidized housing, not only because it helps people in need, but also it's more or less guaranteed income for the owner of the property.
Mm-hmm.
This daycare specializes in basically, I guess, subsidized daycare, which the government pay. I think it makes up like 30% of their income,
Mm-hmm.
which in my mind makes it a safer bet. But I love the overall theme is helping kids and helping parents. I mean, because I don't know, just in our school system, I think 70% of the children are doing virtual learning,
and especially for the younger ones.
Yeah.
Talk about boring.
Oh well, I mean,
So sad.
We tried it. My daughter, she just couldn't. It wasn't for her, so we opted for homeschool. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a great thing. Like so they're taking a church that the congregation wanted to move somewhere else. They got a great deal on it,
Mm-hmm.
and most of their income is I'll air quote it, but guaranteed. And it's odd. I mean, if you would have brought this deal to me 5 years ago, I'd be like, this is the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would.
Yeah.
I would even touch that.
See, as a commercial lender, you're never going to want to do single purpose buildings because they're so hard to sell. Gas
Mhm.
stations, convenience stores,
Well, gas stations have the environmental issue too. You don't wanna touch that.
restaurants. Yeah, absolutely.
Dry
so,
cleaners.
So you're talking about
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
Wendy's kind of drive-through, restaurant, churches, bowling alleys. Those are all single-purpose buildings, but because of the cost of land now and the cost of construction, people are finding more and more innovative ways to use what's already there.
Right.
And because it is a single-purpose facility, you can't sell it for that much. So you're going to get a really good deal on
Right.
it
Yeah,
anyway.
they got a
Right.
great deal. Yeah.
Are we still on
That's
churches?
awesome.
No, Billy.
I think we're done with the churches. If
All
you'd
right.
like
So
to.
here we had one where a guy he had bought this house to rehab. It was I want to say it's near Raleigh, but it's really a good 50 minutes on an interstate to get to Raleigh from where
That's
this
not
place is.
near.
So
Yeah.
it's not a bedroom community of Raleigh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not quite.
So it was a beautiful house, kind of in the country. He had it for sale for quite some time, and he was really depressed that he's not getting offers close to what he needed for this thing. And this comes down to reading what you have.
Right.
He didn't burn it down, did he?
No.
Okay.
So he switched realtors. The realtor, all this depression, the realtor said to him, well, I see you want to sell this house and the 2 acres it's sitting on. What do you want to do with the other 17 acres? What? Yeah, you own that other land right next to it. Really? I think you can get more for it now.
Yeah, that's for sure. I forgot about that too.
So that was
Wow.
that was a nice
I want one of those
Yeah, it
surprises.
was.
I want one of those surprises.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be really nice. I remember that deal. I forgot about that one. Jonathan, talk about some of the houses that you've gotten lately that come with bonuses.
Yeah. Let's talk about one, surprise like that. I got a house in Charlotte, and so I'm pretty sure the guy who lived there was a hoarder. Well, I'm not pretty sure. I know I was in the house. But it seemed like for the last 3 years, I think from 2008 to 2011, he was just buying collectibles and buying things off of eBay. There was a whole corner of the living room that was filled with boxes, unopened boxes
Wow.
of stuff that he had bought off of eBay.
So he didn't even check to see if he received what he bought.
I'm not sure what
Could have given
happened
him
there.
a box full of paper.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I know too much about his life now, which is, but I found collector pipes, like,
Smoking pipes?
yeah, smoking pipes, like tobacco smoking pipes from Holland, porcelain ones. I found,
No crack pipes.
not that I saw. There was a raccoon in there. The raccoon could have brought it in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe a conversion.
Yeah, but yeah, we got the raccoon out. That was scary. I walked up into the attic and it's just sitting there staring at me and just slowly go back down. So, but I also found in one of the other corners was this giant, I guess probably 2 foot by 1.5 foot metal briefcase, the kind that you see in the movies where people like have them chained to their hand.
Handcuffed.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. I was thinking, oh, it's just a cool looking briefcase. Let me just grab that. So I grab it, I open it up, and
Time warp.
and it's filled with thousands of stamps.
Wow.
And some dating, well, actually a lot dating as far back as 1863.
Wow.
That are hand stamped from then. There's some that are definitely older than 1863, but they don't have a hand stamp. I've done a little bit of research on them, but yeah, there are thousands of them.
Wow.
Yeah, one has been certified by the American Philanthropic Society, which is the stamp society, but it was, I want to give them a praise. I have no idea what they're worth, but I mean,
wow.
there's several that, it says like, some company, Chicago, 1864.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Don't put them in the mail.
Yeah. Don't use
Well,
them.
and that's what I figured out. That's
Need
what
some extra
this guy
stamps.
was buying stuff off of eBay. People who were selling mail, like just parcels of mail that looked old, but he wasn't buying it for that. He was buying it for the stamp was on it. So he was a stamp collector. So he was extracting the stamp from the envelopes.
Smart. Wow.
Yeah.
So what else did you find in there?
Found a couple collector truck clocks. Melanie here in our office.
Yeah, he was a truck driver.
He was a truck driver. And there was all kinds of stuff in there that was truck related. But Melanie here in our office, she sold 2 of the clocks on eBay for over $300 each.
That's awesome.
I mean, I had no clue. I found an 1846 1946 Singer sewing machine in perfect condition. The light still worked, everything still
wow.
worked. Yeah. The house was just full of just so much stuff. And then another house, I got lead china, kind of like that lead glass china,
right?
So how long had that house been
the
vacant?
the one in I guess the one in Charlotte was
The hoarder house?
Yeah, 8 or 9. I'd say between 7 and 9 years it had been vacant.
That's amazing.
7 to 9 years have been vacant. I bought another house that the neighbor said that it's been vacant for over 10 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
I've got a rental, or I guess a little storage unit up in Concord that's just full of, really nice furniture and stuff that I just pulled out of that house. The things that I found, like actually giving it to my mother, it's in the dining room, it had an old oil lamp that hung from the ceiling.
Oh wow.
That was solid brass.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it was, it was just, they hung it there and it was an oil lamp.
That sounds awesome.
With a giant it was like porcelain kind of cover over it that was decorated in flowers or whatever they did. But,
that is pretty cool.
Yeah. There's all
kinds of treasures you can
So
find,
I have an
right?
idea. Since we were talking about all these wonky deals, you folks that are in the real estate business, if you have any wonky deals, do a little video of yourself with your phone telling us about your wonky deal, and we'll put it on the air for you.
Oh yeah, I'd love to do that.
So think about some wonky deals,
We
do
could
a
put
little
that
video
on the website
and
too.
shoot us an email at info@carolinahardmoney.com. info@carolinahardmoney.com.
I also forgot that the hoarder house, I found he was a penny collector. So I have the 1895 and up pennies.
Wow.
I also
You might have the only change left in the USA.
No, I was going to get to that. I have 2 boxes that I barely lifted out of there that are full of pennies.
Wow.
I mean,
so
there's-
now we know why we're in a penny shortage.
There
Jonathan has them all.
I have who knows how many, probably thousands of pennies I have sitting there. I talked to my bank and I said, hey, I'm going to bring these over here, and they were like, please don't. Please. They're like, we need the pennies, but please don't do that to us.
Should pay your taxes with them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that
I
would be a
probably
good
have.
idea.
I mean, there's probably several $100s worth of, just face value pennies.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I remember trying to pull it out. It was just stuck in the back of a closet. I had
Amazing.
to slide it and push it across the floor.
Gosh, the only thing I've found in houses that are really good, other than a couple of clawfoot tubs, is somebody hiding in the closet when I was going in to look at it.
I prefer what I find.
That's happened. Roaches. I've found a lot of roaches before, but
Don't forget about the fleas.
yeah, fleas. I've walked out of a house before that my ankles looked like I had socks on
Oh my gosh.
because there were so many fleas in that house.
Oh my
Yeah, that
gosh.
was kind of icky.
Yeah, but that's a house you want to buy right there.
Yeah, we've taken
You get a good
people on
deal.
a bus tour before where we actually told they had to buy shoe covers for them and hats on them because some of the houses were so infested with fleas and roaches and ick that we didn't want them to get stuff.
This is the kind of house you're looking for right here.
Oh my gosh.
Get used to it.
This is a deal.
If you have to hold your breath when you're going
Yeah.
through,
If
This is
anyone
a
is
deal for you.
if anyone is a stamp collector or knows about stamps, hit me up. I know just enough to be dangerous, enough to know if you're trying to rip me off. Probably not. I don't know anything.
But you've got some for sale. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I mean, I've got a giant briefcase full of stamps that I'm not a stamp collector. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know they're cool.
and pardon me if I'm wrong or not, but if
You are.
they've already gone through the mail, they're obviously not worth as much as they would be if they haven't been.
I don't
It
know.
depends. So the research that I've done is, if they are original, never been used, of course, yeah, they're valuable. But if you have a clear hand stamp on it as well, even if it's used, because it has to be used to have a hand stamp on it, like a return cancellation stamp, and it has a clear date and like whatever company it was. I've seen some of those that I was looking at. And again, I don't know. There's like all kinds of like, what does the gum look like? I don't even know exactly what the gum is, but there's all kinds of stuff. And it's like, I've seen those sell for like tens of thousands of dollars on like auction sites.
Really?
Or several thousand. Yeah.
I might come into your house and invade your stamp collection when you're not there.
Yeah, he leaves it handcuffed to
My
you.
only other thought was,
Yeah.
I guess, we're getting ready to move into a new office. I'm trying to make it look as old as possible. I was like, maybe I can just frame some of my stamps.
That's
just put them
kind
up.
of a good idea.
Yeah, just
I
put 'em
think
up
that's a
there.
good idea. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, listen, again, if you have any wonky stories you want to say or tell us about, take a video. What is it? Info, CarolinaHardMoney.com. We'll try and get it on the air for you. So we are Carolina Capital Management. We do make loans to individuals.
Yep.
No, we make them to
Nice say.
Entities.
Nice
Entities.
say. Yeah.
not. If you're interested in borrowing money, go to CarolinaHardMoney.com. Click on the Apply Now tab. If you're interested in passive returns, click on the Investor tab. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
Take care.